Hi, Austin Clark. I'm here at Network Group in Manchester. We are at our gala in this week, and I'm being joined by three of my colleagues from the Network Group. And what today is, we're going to capture some of the content that you've all been asking for, and we're going to have a conversation, and we're going to start today. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to introduce who I've got on the panel, just a group chat, and we'll take it from there. So we have Allison Cooney of Cusken Sync IT, nice to meet. We have Craig Atkins from OneFix and Daniel Shone from Apex Computing. So guys and girls, could you please introduce yourself, your role, your business, give us a little elevator pitch to know who you are. So Allison, I am going to start with you. You did ask me earlier, you say, hey,
I knew you would have done it the other way around.
I'm going to go with the easy question, the one which is your name, your role,
I know,
your business.
and what, because it starts with A.
Because ladies first on this very one occasion.
You're Austin. Yeah, I'm still before
Austin,
you. Anyway, sorry.
Tell us.
My name is Allison Cooney from a company called Cusken Sync IT, and we are based in the northeast of Ireland in a town called Dundalk. I'm the technical account director. So Cusken Sync IT was born out of a merger between obviously Sync IT and Cusken, which is now over 3 years ago. So at this moment in time, we're probably a team of 26 superheroes, as I call them, because we're here, superheroes, yeah, or otherwise we're known as your, I suppose, Avengers for IT solutions.
Excellent.
So without the capes, but lots of cables.
There's a bit of cosplay going on here by the sounds of it. There's a bit of cosplay going on here, I think, but let's just, we'll stick to subject.
Well, what we're trying to do is, our mission is obviously to transform your business and your workplace to be, as I will say, a production paradise. Okay, because at the end of the day, with the industry that we're in now, whether you're looking for an office fit out or whether you're looking for a managed print solution, we also do EPOS, and along with that, we would do your audio visual. So built on all of that, what we want to do is then wrap around our IT services around it, obviously, so that then everything's more safe and secure in the industry that you're in. As I said, the team that we have, we're like fine wine. We're getting better with age. We offer very much a passionate, personal, proactive service for all our clients. So if you want to ditch the outdated tech and talk to us, give us a shout at Cusken Sync IT.
Thank you very much. Craig.
I think Allison wins the pitch game.
I think Allison, you got a better chance to follow that up. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Well done. Craig. I'm Craig. Company's OneFix. So we are MSP, pure play MSP. We don't do any office fit out stuff, unfortunately. But it sounds like a good market. But we're IT, cybersecurity, based in Reading in the Thames Valley. There are 14 of us in the business. I am the managing director, so my role and responsibilities are, well, they've transitioned really, and they've changed over the years, but now it's all about guiding, steering the ship and setting the strategy and just trying to enable the people to do the good stuff. And I guess our unique, or our pitch really, is around relationships. So we are a relationship-centric IT provider. It's all about our relationship with our staff and our staff's relationship with our clients and driving that forwards.
Fantastic.
That's us.
My name's Daniel Shone. I'm one of the founders at Apex Computing. We've been going 22 years. We're a team of 35 people based in Manchester, which is great to be here today with NG.
The home.
In Manchester. MSP focused on Microsoft solutions. We support about 4,500 end users over about 170 businesses. My focus the last few years has mainly been around new business, sales and marketing, so that's what I've kind of focused on, but my background originally is technical, and Christopher and I, my business partner, we've grown a business over many years, but in the last few years I've focused more on new business and marketing.
Fantastic, great, thank you very much. That has been excellent. Now we know who you are. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to ask a question to each, and I will not ask you every question, Alison, but let's just start and say, can you just tell me how long you've been in NG and briefly what it means to you? So Daniel, how long have you been in NG?
I've been in NG about 3 or 4 years. I really like the community, and I think the community's matured over that time as well. I think when I first joined it, it was quite loose without as much structure as it has now. It was a bit more of a kind of like social kind of enterprise when people got together, but people that come now to NG, they're serious about growing the business, they're serious about finding out what good looks like in terms of an MSP offering and working with progressive MSPs, vendors and suppliers that really want to help you grow your business and move to the next step of whatever that might be for your business. So I really value NG Group, and we're we're members of other MSP-based communities, but the NG Group has really stood out for us definitely in the last 18 months, 2 years in terms of its development.
Marvellous. That's since you've got the new events director
Yes.
on board. How about yourself, Greg?
So when did we join? I don't, do you know what, we joined and Phil Morgan left, so that probably says something about us. I think it must have been 2018, 2019, I'm not quite sure. Very similar to Daniel actually in terms of how the value we get from the group. I think it's just that learning and the peer learning. For me, it's the things I look forward to most in the calendar, the NG events.
Seriously,
Honestly,
it's one of those
like
days.
the highlights for me. It's like I've got to make sure I make them. I'm always going to make them. I guess there's quite a few. I see now we've got these new 2 tiers where we've got the 2-tier membership, which is brilliant because again we've been bringing along other members of the team for a number of years. So that fits right in with my ethos. Get the other members of the team along, get them skilled up. Brought my marketer along to this event today, and it's been fantastic. She's come to me midway through. I said, "Are you getting value from this?" She's like, "This is brilliant. I've learned so much today," and just sharing knowledge. And I think that's it. It's so nice to be in a collaborative industry. Certainly for me, again, talking about relationships, keep banging on about it, but that is my thing. I love talking to people, and that's great. That's what this is all about. So it's great for me.
Alison, how long have you been in NG? What does it mean to you?
7 years.
7 years. Had that straight off bat.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
January, I think it was 2018, and you were probably the first person that we met that particular evening that we came in. So
you stayed.
straight away. No, again, I love the relationships that we have built along with here. Don't get me wrong, I suppose in the very beginning, one of the reasons for entering into it was the buying power. Do you know what I mean? That obviously from the different vendors, because you're buying it as a consortium, so obviously everybody was saving money, which is probably the first reason why we entered it. But as time goes on, it's the collaborations, the sharing of data. Everybody has the same problems, so it's nice to be able to sit down with people and other peers as well to understand their challenges, and we get help and assistance. But like that, again, for us it's always more difficult because we're obviously travelling from Ireland all the time, so we have a fantastic time this year in October when it comes to Belfast.
Woohoo! We're going to Belfast.
Happy days.
It's gonna be
Really
great.
happy to look that.
But we've built then some fantastic friendships and relationships, and then along with that, it's great to be able to meet vendors face to face.
Yeah, I totally agree.
With the
That's a
larger
really
vendors,
important
you don't get to see them. And, you're meeting
Yeah.
these people face
Yeah,
to
yeah.
face. They phone you up. They're constant, on email to you, so you always have a direct line to them.
Yeah.
I don't know where else you're going to get that.
No, I think that's one of the secrets of this group is we have got such access to that. So folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive us on. We're going to go into, see where we get with this. We're going to ask a question to you all. It's not directed to anybody in particular, but just want to get your feedback. There's been a lot of change in the industry. We have come through where the MSP community's come, then the cybersecurity, and now we're hearing AI. So I'm curious to hear your perspectives, because you've all got a different type of perspective on how you're going to drive things forward. But question is, how are you adapting to change as the IT industry evolves? And I'll counter that one by saying, what have you changed in your business in the past 12 months?
I'm happy to go first on that. I mean, the big push for Apex around AI is probably Copilot with Microsoft, because all of our solutions are focused around Microsoft. But what I would say is no different than when we first had Office 365 and the cloud coming into play, or when MSP started doing Microsoft Azure. My advice would be to not try and reinvent the wheel. We've engaged heavily with Pax8, and we're building out a productized solution for our customers around Copilot. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, we're trying to integrate with our professional services team to have a deployment program for medium and larger clients that maybe want to use Copilot, where they're actually going to get a successful outcome out of it, other than just enabling licenses. But the reason why I mentioned Pax8 and NG Group is that it's a great platform to be able to really explore your relationship with these suppliers and pull in that help and support. And then MSPs aren't working on their own to try and find a solution to these problems. So if there are NG members listening to this, and you are with Pax8, definitely speak to Pax8 and the team there, and Eric,
by
who's
the way,
heading
we may
that up.
add in there are more other people than Pax8, but we just seem to be.
But they're
Is
the
it
best.
just AI? They're the best. Where's that fiver? You guys, what do you guys think? What do you folks think? Is it just AI? Is it the next thing? Do we? Is there other
It's the
things?
tech stack as well that that
Okay.
we're using, and especially come to an event like this, where, as I can't remember one of the guys earlier on, Peter, gone on about shiny new toys, which is what happens when you come in here, because there's so many different vendors in that room talking about cybersecurity. Then you've got also then some, the AI that what's the name? Yeah, like today, do you know what I mean? So from ourselves, we hosted 3 different events. We brought all our clients in, we gave them different options to bring them in, obviously for, I think it was a morning session, trying to educate people. So we call it a Digital 25. That was the name of the event that we had.
Why'd you call it a Digital 25? Oh, because it's 2025. Duh, stupid, yeah.
And we're just trying to educate people, you know, regarding zero trust and obviously Copilot and that as well. And just to give people an insight, because again, everybody assumes, because we're their IT department, we look after everything, and we're going, we don't.
Everyone's got a cable on it, an IP, and anything goes ping, and it's got a light on it.
And it comes back to us. So I suppose if we went back to when we first joined the network group, 2018, we would have done, you know, followed the 15 steps of a security wheel, which is what we called it. We've invented our own one now, which there's at least 35 items in
25.
There. 35.
Yeah. 35.
Roughly. I have to count them all again.
35.
But
Jeez.
people don't realize all the touch points within their industry. So trying to educate people, that's probably one thing that we're trying to change. And obviously with the, I suppose, end of life for Windows 10, trying to educate people as well. So that's another big push for us.
There's big push. What about yourself, Craig? What do you think? What are you
do sort of
adapting?
take a slightly different angle on this, actually, in terms of we've done we do the Copilot part. I think probably don't do it as well as you guys do it. We've got quite a lot of licenses out there, and we are using it internally. We've kind of majored on the fact internally when we were looking at it. We've said for us a real threat is actually the AI piece, in terms of what you were saying about people expecting us to be the experts, and actually we know we're really not necessarily. So we're already getting questions from customers saying, look, we do this, how do we best implement AI? And we're thinking, well, look, kind of on our SWOT analysis, we're thinking, well, you look at this and go, in 3 or 4 years' time, we're not going to be managed service providers. We're going to be outsourced business process consultants.
So you see, could almost be a fundamental change to being an MSP.
I think it's going to be a sea change in terms of what our customers expect us to deliver to remain sticky and to remain in that market. There'll still be, there will be the tin, there'll still be the need to fix the problems, but actually that bit's going to be much smaller, and we're going to get so much more value out of this other piece that we don't really know how to do yet. We're dabbling with it, so we've got to figure this journey out, and how do we actually do that?
Because this journey's not been defined yet. Would you agree?
No,
I mean, some of you have. You've maybe got some answers.
No, I really agree with that. And like I say, we're dabbling in it, and it is probably an important next step. But when we don't know what good looks like, by working with the professional services team at PAX 8, we can help paint a picture of what that's going to look like. And I mean, I'm really keen to work with other MSPs that are progressive MSPs that want to develop out a Copilot solution or a program where we can kind of tackle some of those building blocks together. And it's something that I'm trying to arrange with maybe other NG members, and certainly through the PAX 8 community with other MSPs that want to be involved in that. Because, like you said, it is a completely new offering, and we're not experts at it yet. But
I've got a prime example where we had one of our clients came to us. They're in regulatory compliance, and it's cosmetic regulation, and they were saying, look, we do all these manual checks. We take a can like this, and we'll go like, has it got these particular things on it? Is it compliant? How can we use AI? And I said, well, I don't know, but let's try something. Let's just take a photo of that. Let's shove it into just Copilot. Actually, we used it at the time. Ask it the question, does this meet these regulations? And immediately analyse the image. It's like, yep, that's that. Yeah. And the guy was mind blown. He was like, this is amazing. How do we harness this? And it's like, great. So there's so much opportunity.
But the AI is just definitely going to get rid of us all. You don't need any more engineers. You're not going to need any marketing. It would just
that's the way they're trying to push. And you're going,
and do you not agree with that?
You still need the human element.
The human element is so important.
So are you doing anything with Copilot AI now?
We have, I'm going to say, small amount of it internally, Austin. Again, because we've raised the awareness now with our clients, there's more and more people coming looking for the Copilot license. So like that, we have to roll it out the correct way with education. Because again, when we hosted that event, we had loads of people who are like, oh, use ChatGPT, and we're trying to educate them going, you don't know where your data is. So, and they think because they're paying a small fee, that it's safe.
Better value.
Yeah, it's better value. But it's in infancy stages.
I can't agree more with you. I mean, I said we're going to try and make this a bit more spiky, but I think the fact of the matter is we do have some alternative views to this, but we all realise that there's a change. There's a whole change in the marketplace, and we're recognising the different ways we're thinking about it.
What worries me is if it's not a supported rollout and you just give your clients 20 Copilot licenses in a 100-user organisation, and you've not done preparation work around security, about what data it can access, about permissions on SharePoint sites. Very quickly, things could be, uncovered by members of staff that maybe aren't supposed to have read certain information just by doing a query. And I know that, you have to have the right permissions in place anyway, or else they would have been able to access those files through traditional methods. But it's very different when you can ask Copilot a question and it'll just go right through the information
through
and pull it
everything.
back, like, do you know what this person's wage is, and you might not know to look through all the files to find one that you happen to have permission to, but Copilot's going to be pretty quick at going out there and pulling back those results for somebody that shouldn't have them. So there's a lot of work to do around preparation and making sure the customer understands what it's going to have access to.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us are just getting asked this question. Just do, and you go, oh, hold on a minute. There's a little bit of preparation here that you need to consider before you just launch this
So if you don't
board.
do anything, the staff are going to do it anyway. This is the problem we've seen, is that actually if companies that aren't progressive and they're not saying we've got an AI policy, the staff are going and pumping the data into ChatGPT. No one knows about it because they've gone, I've got it on my phone, I'll pump the data in. Unless you say you can't do that, well, they think it's free game,
I think on the paid version of ChatGPT now, in the settings, you can actually link your SharePoint site and your OneDrive, which for me is just scary because staff can do it themselves, and unless you've got the policies in place.
Because they just don't get it.
I don't know.
From just what you said there, security and permissions and locking it down. And that's what we're trying to, because I had one customer came along and wanted to roll it all out to our salespeople, and I said, well, hang on a minute, before you do anything, we have to look at all of your permissions. And some companies don't care. Oh, we've nothing to hide. I'm going, you do have stuff to hide. You can't have people seeing your payroll. So if you let Copilot loose,
off you go.
you've got your data in the wrong place and the permissions aren't right.
Genie's out the bottle at that point.
And it proverbially is. The genie's out the bottle. That to me is a great phrase there. Yeah, I love that one. We're going to pivot a little bit. We're going to try and get through. And this one again, I've got three very accomplished leaders here in this meeting. Hey, I've got to big you up somehow along this line. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invited you on. But we've got this question I'd like to ask, and I'm going to go through various of these podcasts we're going to go through. Can leadership be learned, or is it an inherited trait? And what I'd like to do is just explore that, to provide a story that reflects your style of leadership. I mean, I know mine. Mine's a lot about mentoring. I see myself as somebody with nurturing talent in my business. I'm not a dictator, and I don't like the sweating the small stuff. I prefer to let people give them an outlook of what good looks like and try and help them. That's I'll just give you an example. So I'll throw it out there. Can leadership be learned, or is it an inherited trait?
My feeling is that, leadership, there are lots of leaders in different roles in the business and different departments, and we've grown, Christopher and I have grown the business from being very young, and as we've gone through different...
What was young? How old was young?
18, 21.
Wow.
It's been a long time, but as we've gone through different growth spurts in the business, you go through like £1 million turnover sound barrier, you go through the sound barrier of building out a leadership team and different departments and people reporting back and KPIs and numbers coming through. And what we've found, which has been massive with the MSP community, is you can engage with great people like Daniel Welling of Welling MSP, Ian Luckett and Stuart Warwick at the MSP Growth Hub have been amazing, and there's been lots of people that have helped Chris and I through different parts of the journey to be good leaders. And anybody that thinks they're a good leader and doesn't think we need support or help, or thinks that they can improve on themselves, or has a complex that they are an amazing leader and don't need any help, that they're the ones that fail. Everybody needs support to be a good leader, and there are a lot of accidental business owners in the MSP world and would benefit greatly from help from people like Daniel Welling and Ian and Stuart. So that's my feeling on it, that invest in having wonderful people come in and help you grow your business, and it really will help you get through those kind of major milestones in growth.
Yeah, amazing. Craig, yourself, and you've just done a session earlier today which shows that you could put some real thought into this. I'm curious, what's your take on, can leadership be learned?
Can it be learned? I think leadership skills can be learned, and I think there are certain people that are more adapted or more adept to be natural leaders. I think what's interesting, I guess, situational leadership. So I find it quite interesting when you go to a room and they say, like, who wants to go and take control of, who wants to be the speaker on the table? And there's normally someone who goes, yeah, I'll do that. And they're not always the best person, they're not always the best leader. Sometimes the person that's really quiet in the background, in the point of crisis, suddenly steps up. So I've seen that a number of times before in the business, where the person you don't think is probably the leader will suddenly grab the bull by the horns and take things forward when it's all hitting the fan, and suddenly somebody steps up and takes control. So I think it's quite interesting to see that and watch that. I think skills-wise, there's certainly things you can teach. I think there are certain characteristical traits that maybe certain people have or don't have. So, very introverted people maybe aren't driven to an outcome, so therefore they overthink things. They're not necessarily the person to drive that forward, but they're the people you want in the background doing doing the work. So I think picking the right leaders is important. And I think you're absolutely right. You know, there's certainly in our community there are a lot of us that are accidental leaders. I never thought when I started, you know, I started my business because I thought I could do it better than the people I was working for. I didn't honestly think I was a particularly good leader, and I still don't think I'm a particularly good leader. I do my best, and I think I do certain things well. But I think if you think you're great, as you said, you're really probably not. I'm sure politicians are all the people that must think that they're amazingly good at what they do, and they're probably the least capable people that you'd want doing the work, wouldn't they?
So an interesting one, because Allison's come from an interesting background, because you've done a merger, and that's even more challenging. You know, it's one thing to have led your culture, but all of a sudden and I've just gone through it, so my big empathy there, if anybody else can teach me how best to do that. But you're now mashing two cultures together and actually bringing two teams together. How does that work?
Because to be fair, like again, when you just said, there are some definitely, you know, leaders, born leaders. To me, yes, it's something that can be learned, but again, by bringing the right mentors in to nourish that. I know obviously with our merger, our fear at the time was you're bringing two completely different cultures together, and our fear, and I remember after we had, I suppose, when it was all announced and we hosted a meeting in a museum beside us, our fear, myself and Joe's fear, was that this team, what if something breaks down? What if, you know, roles are going to, I suppose, we're going to cross over? And we had a meeting in the museum, and I thought it was fantastic because one of the lads actually stood up and said, you know what, this has been fantastic. This, like, as a team and a company, we've all blended in. So, like, as our fear was, there's going to be a clash, we're going to have people who are going to leave, and okay, there was certain people in certain roles that were ready to move on even before our merger, but to be fair, we have just gelled. And I suppose then we've seen there's different staff members who definitely have leadership characteristics, which
it's spotting them.
It's spotting them. Yeah, you have to spot them.
These things you can sort of like nurturing this talent out and saying, "Oh, there's somebody that's got something. I could do something with it."
And they may not have gotten recognised in the other company. Do you know what I mean? But obviously we see it differently now, because again, obviously we've 4 different pillars that we're trying to service. But like that, we've brought other people in, you know, to grow the company, to mentor me as well, especially.
Yeah. Who's got a mentor here, by the way? I have a mentor. You got a mentor? You got a mentor?
I have had mentors.
You've had mentors,
yep,
yes.
And but I'm open to working with other mentors as well. It's like trying on a pair of shoes. You've got to find the ones that fit, and then you wear them for so long.
Does it? And you grow the pair of shoes.
Well, you do. I mean, when we finished working with Ian and Stuart, we kind of said that we graduated because we've got everything from the programme that we wanted to get from it, and built the relationships we wanted to build from it. And then it's, you know, what's next? We worked with Darren Strong successfully on some projects. I think we've probably come to the end of the work we're doing with him now. It's, you know, and who can add value? Who can we bring in to add value in the next part of our journey and growth? Definitely.
Yeah. So I think mentors is a great thing. And did you say you've got a mentor?
We've had mentors come in and out from time to time, Austin. Yeah. And many moons ago, I would have undertook it myself. So.
What we're finding recently with the growth of Apex is we're getting to the size now where, and we're going for aggressive growth. There's been value in bringing people up into roles, but also real value from bringing in industry experts from larger MSPs and bringing in people with much more experience than we've got to actually deliver success. And that's been a bit of an awakener for me and Chris in not trying to reinvent the wheel and getting people in that know what we're doing and investing in people that have walked the walk and talked the talk in the industry. Yeah. So that's been quite new for us in the last 12, 18 months, but that's really energised some of the people that have been with us on the journey for a long time and have been stepping up into roles and going past their comfort point. When you bring in these experts that are really industry hardened, it makes them feel good about what we're doing and ready for the next step.
I think it's great to hear that, because there's an example of, I think we've all got people in our businesses that we can see they're growing, but we've also got people who can say, well, actually they've come to that point that actually the role they want to be in, and you might have to say,
it might not be fair on them trying to take them past what they're capable of as well. Like, you can keep pushing people to the point where they're uncomfortable, and actually this isn't a role that's for them. You're just wanting them to do that because that's what you need in the business. It's actually not suitable for their personality type.
Yeah.
I think as business owners, you always want to bring people on a journey. Sometimes you can actually take them past where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Someone gave me a good analogy on that one. I said, like, when you start your business, it's the bus, and the people who are on the bus at the start of the journey aren't always on the bus at the end of the journey.
You need to make a few stops to let people off and get some other people on.
Yeah, that's it.
I love that analogy.
Problem is, I don't know where the bus is going.
The bus is a fantastic analogy about that.
Oh, 1 second. There we go.
Thank you.
We're talking so much here, we've managed to drain the batteries on one of the mics, which is actually pretty cool to do.
Content.
Which is such great content. Folks, we're coming to the top of the hour. What I'd like to do is, I'm going to finish off with one which is maybe a little bit more controversial. I'm going to throw this one in here. It's not really controversial, but I think it's something I'd like to ask a question to the four of you. It's about cybersecurity. And cybersecurity protection is ever expanding. We've just come through from the exhibition hall there, and there are so many products and services. Are we at a risk of becoming a self-fulfilling industry because there are so many products and we just have to go out there and speak to our clients in the marketplace? Or is the risk hype? My question is around that. Are we self-fulfilling providing all these services?
I think you've only got
the risk real?
You've got to look at exhibition hall today and how many vendors there are there now. And like, I was saying to one of them there, it's like compared to 3 years ago, how many more there are in the room. Yep. And their market's like our market. We're talking to customers who are in a 3-year deal. They're all, it might be a year in, they're not unhappy. They're talking, I go and see a cybersecurity vendor in that room and I say, well, I'm already in a 3-year contract. There's no point really us talking because I've got 3 years on. I think what worries me as the business owner from a risk perspective is I've put my eggs in a basket with a vendor. How do I know they're doing everything right? How do I know they've got all the right tools? How do I know that their 3-year journey is going to have, the new shiny thing over here now isn't in this tool? And we've had to really consolidate because I am the magpie, so I love the shiny stuff. So I've had to sit on my hands.
That's actually a really good point. Are we the magpies?
We are the magpies, mate. Honestly, we are the magpies. We are the nightmare. So we have to, certainly I do anyway, sit on my hands and stop looking at the new shiny tools and consolidate what I've got.
Just can't
implement it properly, because the number of things that we've bought and we've probably only gone 70% down the road with it or 60% down the road with it. I swear we could spend a year internally on our stack and get more value out of what we've got.
So stop turning up to damn
stop coming to these bloody events and buying stuff, basically. So I'm not coming again.
No, wait, listen, please keep coming. It's very important that we do
what. Did you sign up to any shiny new toys today?
Any new shiny toys today?
No. You just keep walking. It's like,
keep walking.
They want to sell something to me. No, go.
That's what you said, because again, we're committed. Obviously, one commitment date is like September next year, so we can't. But there's changes all the time, so it's definitely real. It's not hype.
So it's not hype. This is real.
It's massively real, and I don't want to name any vendors, but there are vendors in there that we were working with 3 years ago, which were cutting edge and providing real value, but are no longer providing value, and we've had to move to a different vendor. And I think what MSPs really need to think about is. Customers perceiving you as always selling a new cybersecurity product, or always talking to you about the next thing, or always trying to sell something else. I mean, DMARC and DKIM has been huge this year. We've implemented SendMark across our customer base. But what we have a strap line, and it's we want you to stop thinking about cybersecurity. So we say to all of our customers, we want you to take a stack called the Apex Cybersecurity Sphere. We don't want to tell you what's in it. We want to tell you what outcome it has for your business. But for instance, we put SendMark in there. We wrote to our customers saying that there's an improvement. We actually took a product out. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but something went out the back end. The price didn't change to the customer. Just the outcome to the client was communicated, and the client's happy, and we're providing a great service at a reasonable price value point. And we do take products out and put them in as are required, and we update the clients, but I'm not having to ring them and going, are you interested in Zero Trust? Would you please take Zero Trust? Would you please give us an extra £5 a month? Would you please give an extra £2 a month?
It's a perception of nickel and diming. You keep going back. Give me a bit more.
Contrast has been a game changer, but we just stuck it in the Sphere. We didn't even talk to the clients about it. It went in the Sphere, and we told them about all the wonderful things that it does. And it's a big upsell for new clients that are coming to us. And it includes Huntress, but I'm not talking to them about all these product names. They're not all listed on an invoice, and that's what clients want. They just want to know that they can trust you in what you're delivering, and it's a simple message. They do not want to be knowing about all the different bells and whistles and toys that are in there. They don't care.
Do your clients care? My clients, I mean, they would want to know they're secure.
They're secure, and like that, again, we bundle it all together. Do you know what I mean? Because if you start nitpicking what's in there, the customer's like, what are you selling me? So no, again, we just bundle it all together. And we've swapped tech from time to time. Sometimes we've told them, sometimes we haven't, because they don't know any different.
I remember the whole chocolate cake scenario. I won't mention who speaks about it. It's the difference between the ingredients in the chocolate cake. Nobody wants to buy the ingredients. They just want to buy that really nicely frosted chocolate cake, and that's what they want delivered.
Folks, also, I think. Sorry, I'm just going to. I think if we're positioning ourselves, and we all are, I think, positioning ourselves as being the company you want to trust with your IT and your solutions. So we don't want to be having to go, like you said, go to customer and go, well, now you need this, now you need that. We just want to say, you buy with us, and we're just covering that stuff off. Like, we don't want to talk about the stack, this, that, and the other. It is literally, we provide the SOC and the monitoring 24/7. We rolled it out across the base because, again, like, I don't want some customers that don't want to take that service because they're not even then meeting our security standards. So we, if we truly think everybody should have it, we need to be putting it in there and either giving it away and bundling the margin in and making that work, or taking something out and putting it in.
What worries me a lot of MSPs, and like you said before about the new shiny object, the magpies, is they go for what's technically brilliant, and they'll have all the most technically brilliant products in there, but they're not necessarily easy to support, they're not easy to deploy. Maybe the marketing support around it isn't great, or how to explain it to your clients, and they're not actually considering the whole picture of how it works. They're just like, that's the best Swiss Army knife, and actually it doesn't convert commercially or to what your clients are actually wanting from you. And that's a big maturity piece that we had to go through, and every MSP has to go through, that choosing the right firewall provider isn't necessarily about the one that has the highest Gartner score. It might be to do with how easy it is to install and how good the support is when something goes wrong, and how quickly you can actually ring somebody and get some help from that provider. So, there's a maturity to that aspect when you're evaluating products as well, I think, at a certain size MSP.
Folks, I'm going to have to say, we could sit and have a conversation for a lot longer on this, and I know that some of us are a little bit nervous coming into this video today. I do apologise, you were up at 5 a.m. this morning, and it was my fault. I've really enjoyed the chat. It's honestly been a great start to what I hope we will do more of. The reason where this came from was we did a survey within the group, and they said the content, or where the real value was coming out, from the conversations in the bar and the sessions in between, in the hallways. And what we want to do is just have an opportunity to capture this. So I can't thank you but enough, Allison, Craig, Daniel. So to finish off this, what I would like to ask is, when we're speaking to our audience and they're watching this, how can they get in contact with you? So Allison, how could somebody get in contact? Through LinkedIn, by email? What's the best way? Don't give out your mobile phone number, I never know, you'll be inundated in WhatsApp. So how can people get in contact with you?
Do you know what I mean? LinkedIn, email.
Okay, so it'll be Allison Cooney at?
No, Allison at Cusken Sync IT.ie. There you go, is the email address, but you can find it on LinkedIn as well.
Perfect. Craig?
Yeah, for me, probably the best place is LinkedIn. So if you find me on LinkedIn, Craig Atkins or One-Fix. Website is one-fix.com, but follow me on LinkedIn. Lots of good content on there. As you'll know, Austin, I'm trying to up my personal brand and my video work off the back of today's topic. So get on my LinkedIn. There you go.
We'll get on your LinkedIn. And Daniel?
If you're an MSP owner and you want to work progressively on something like the Copilot program, please pick up the phone and ring me. It's 0161 233 0099, option 1. Just say I'm calling from NG Group. Do not ring if you're a vendor or trying to sell me something, please. Please
You've
don't.
opened the floodgates.
Please do call. If you're an MSP owner or in operations in an MSP or marketing and like to work on something together, please ring me and speak to me.
Nice one.
Folks, thanks very much.
Thanks.
That's the end of our group chat today here with the NG Group in Manchester. I just want to say a really big thank you to this group. We're going off to have a gala, black tie dinner, where we're all going to get awards and get a couple of drinks of bubbly and enjoy our evening. Folks, thank you very much for watching this. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Austin. You're a star.
Thank you, Austin.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Craig. Thanks, Alison. Thank you.